Alrighty, so here we go. We are in the first game. Operation Blackshield against English Hard to Spoke. Probably going to give up referring to these clan names in this game because some of those are just ridiculous to say. But Refero, some of you guys may recognize Refero's name from the community. We've got him playing the Soviets. Mr. Bojing Le Monkey. Yeah, we'll just call him Monkey, I think, playing as USF, and he launches straight in with the rifle company. No surprise there whatsoever. Look at that, straight in with this as well. So on the right hand side, Legendary and Noslil, we'll call him Nos, I think that's probably easier. So again, mixed factions from the Axis, nice to see. I don't think a double of any of the Axis factions has really been working right now, so good, nice to see some really good combined and intricate strategies coming in from mixed Axis factions at the moment. Again, no Brits this time, that's surprising to me. Brits are regarded as being a very, very strong support faction in team games at the moment, so the decision for no Brits, we'll see how that pans out. USF, you know, they're famously not particularly amazing in the late game, however, you know, things are changing, so let's see how that happens. Now, good early Kubel push from Noslo on that side. Allies very easily taking the right hand side. Looks like no attempt has been made whatsoever from the Axis to move over on that side. Now, this is actually a pretty good position for the Allies. If the Allies can claim this side, very, very easy for them to flank in the early game on the left and the middle side of this map. Having the right hand side is going to provide them with a very, very easy to defend fuel. You know, it's really something that the Axis should be looking to take because they obviously have the advantage of this green cover at the start. But, you know, under control of the Allies, they're going to have a very, very good flanking position here. And it's very, very difficult for Axis to prevent this because of this ridge line here. So, so far, map control, I think this is going to favour some very, very good Allied flanking. It's going to be very, very difficult for Axis to get a foothold due to this. Oh, we'll see what happens. Aggressive play from OKW here. Not sure if he's quite got the support from his teammate in order to play that aggressively, who is struggling to get a backline set up. Very, very late retreat here from the Pioneers. Does not want to lose those that early on in the game. Fortunately, MG does manage to cover him there. Whoa! Squad wipe straight away from the Rifleman with an early tech to grenades, I believe. And wow. Losing a squad less than 3 minutes into the game is completely unacceptable. It should not have happened. Massive early game loss here, and they're going to suffer from that. They're not going to be able to cap enough points. Kubel goes down as well. What is this? What a crazy start to the game. So many units gone down already. Allies having a killer start to the game. Are we going to see the MG go down as well? Rifles stop to take the shot. They do manage to get it down. Grenadiers sitting in red cover here. Again, they're going to manage to maybe get the battle grouper down as well. This is a catastrophe for the Axis. Allies are sitting on the retreat paths right now. They've pushed right deep into the lines of the Axis. No retreat here means that Refero has just got easy pickings. Again, any retreat from this squad is going to be met with 2 squads of rifles on the retreat. Looks like rifles have moved in for the correct retreat path as well. Look at this, just no retreating from these units whatsoever in time. Absolutely crazy. Now, for those of you that don't know, in this game, the smaller your army is, the more manpower you get coming in. So, you know, you can rebuild fairly quickly in these situations. You can get back on foot with your opponents. But the issue with, is that now they've lost so much map control, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to take it back. You know, your opponents, they have now got a munitions advantage, they've got a fuel advantage. It's going to be ever more difficult for you to get through this game. So I would highly expect to see a lot of infantry spamming here from the Axis now. They want to try and out-manpower their opponents so that they can get a lot of map control back quickly. If they can try and overpower their opponents before the mid-game, they might have a chance of clawing back those key territories like the fuel, the VP, and the munitions here, which are going to allow them just to survive until the mid-game, and then hopefully, you know, bring out a Jagdpanzer 4 or something, and start to work it back. But what a terrible start to the game. absolutely awful and just devastating to see those kind of units go down when they didn't need to at all. Look at this early demo charge going down from Refero here. He is going to catch one of those off guard. There's no way that these munitions are going to get spent on Minesweepers straight away. And here we go. Both Axis teams pushing down the left-hand side of the map, trying to reclaim their own fuel. Look at this. He's just baiting him into this demo charge. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, come on. They sat right on top of that. Look at this. What a mess. Again, Rifleman just catching the squad off guard here. Nozzle's trying to get in to defend them. These Riflemen are just completely dominating every engagement that they're in. Here we go, conscripts over here all rowing into green cover. Going to be able to win the engagements against the Stern Pioneers. Very, very good pressure on the left-hand side. They're not really allowing Axis any time to set up at all. And this is absolutely crucial, not letting Axis get any kind of foothold on the map. Remember, that's something that OKW really relies on, is being able to establish that foothold and then build a mobile force that can extend from it. So, putting insane amounts of pressure on this retreat area right here is just the perfect thing to do. It just means, they can't get a specific direction, they can't spread out, they're just completely confined into here. Just great gameplay from the Allies so far. And it's probably more down to the fact that English hard to spoke just really poorly played the start game. Incendiary goes down from the Volksgrenadiers there, but they didn't retreat in time. Needed to get that squad out of there way before that. Got very, very lucky that Allies didn't commit to that engagement there. Snipers coming in now. How many snipers have we got in the field at the moment? Looks like just the one. Trying to get as many pot shots on the USF as possible. Trying to reduce that manpower damage at every opportunity. Heavy mortar coming here. So here we go. We actually have Soviet shock army, which means no late game call-in tanks for the Soviets. Very, very wise choice here by Legendary to equip these Minesweepers after losing a Pioneer squad to a demo charge earlier. I personally wouldn't have blown up that demo charge when he did. It's always nice to let your opponent stand somewhere for a while and kind of get a little bit of a sense of security about standing there, because they're more likely to move a couple of units there later on. Once you actually blow up a demo charge, it's likely that your opponent's going to notice in future, so, probably could have picked a better moment to blow that. Nevertheless, got a full squad for it, so it did pay for itself. Axis are actually starting to gain a little bit of a foothold here. We're seeing increasingly large armies coming in from the Axis. It's going to help them get into these green cover positions and deal with the Allied infantry. And just basically prevent all this flanking going on from the Allies. I mean, that's really the key for them right now. They need to stop the US and the Soviets from just dividing them and then flanking them. And with the support of these MGs and the sniper, they're going to be able to do that fairly efficiently. Do we have an LEIG on the field right now? No, we don't. In fact, this is the Pack Howitzer that is coming on. Whoa, look at that shot on the sniper. If there is a push from the Allies, go down to the ground and be a news cameraman. Maybe. We can do that. Tier 4 is now up, protecting the fuel on the left-hand side. So actually, look, Axis are still in the game. That just goes to show that even with the best of starts, it doesn't guarantee you a game win by any means. These guys are going to stick it out. Obviously, they want to be in this tournament. They're not going to give up that easily. And it all comes down to really, I think, a commander selection. Rifle Company is going to be a very easy giveaway. The decision not to go for a heavy call-in from the Soviets, could cost them the game. Things like the T-34 and Su-85 are not going to stand up to something like you know, the elephant that could come on the field. So, you know, this game could still go either way at the moment. I think Axis are getting ever stronger. Something like the elephant. I mean, I'm not sure why that hasn't been picked already. Maybe he hasn't clocked what the Soviet doctrine is. This demo charge here has created a nice green cover spot for the Grenadiers. They should probably all get in there and utilize that. Something that Legendary could do here is make sure that all of the dots for this squad get inside that crater. Because standing here, actually these two units are only benefiting from medium, maybe not even that in terms of cover. So, you know, always need to make sure that your squads get in the green. And there we go, heavy mortar starting to get to work. Su-76 on the field now.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Nice early looks in here to deal with the USF infantry. He's going to look to try and get this anti-tank grenade off. If he does manage to get it off, Su-76 has a very, very good chance of coming in here and getting a shot on the looks. Have they got that kind of team synergy going on? Doesn't look like they've communicated this well. Su-76 could have easily gone in there and ripped the looks up. And that is a mistake, actually not identifying that. They really needed to have some communication going on there for when that anti-tank grenade got off. Nice push from Legendary over here, dealing with the heavy mortar. This thing should be retreating right now. What's Refero doing? Again, Axis very, very comfortably getting back into this game. We see the looks still remains on the field now because, you know, we didn't have the push there from the Su-76. Are we going to see Jagdpanzer IV coming out on the field as the next vehicle? I'm not sure. We see currently Battle Phase 2 coming up, so maybe we're going to see an Ostwind or a Panzer IV come out now. It would suggest that something like Jaeger armor is going to hit the field, you know, with a tier 3 strategy, and the elephant in the late game could happen. Again, you know, if we were going to see Spearhead Doctrine, we probably would have seen it by now. Something like the elephant, though, is going to be very, very useful here. Now, this time the looks hopefully isn't going to make the same mistake when walking into these engagements. Needs to keep a little bit more distance. Sniper from the Ostid in a bit of trouble there. Does manage to get out of the way in time. And here we go, the looks performing best at range. Doing a really, really good job of just doing infantry damage at the long distance. Doesn't take the risk of anti-tank grenades like this now. Nice capping again as well on the right hand side, constantly now putting some pressure on the allies to go left and right. Currently no VPs remain in control of the Axis. Look at this, VP tick is actually going down quite quickly now. Allies in a very, very strong position. It's going to make that end game for the Axis all the harder. Oh, we see airstrike coming down here, so here we go. Close air support was picked by Legendary. Now it does manage to take down the Pack Howitzer, which is a massive boost, and they're probably going to look to recruit that now. If the looks can manage to go in with a bit of support here, it doesn't look like there's anything else to provide support. Really needs to get that MG in there in order to do this. We're going to see a grenade go on that thing as soon as it's crewed. There we go, there's the grenade. They're not going to be able to get the Pack Carry out in time. This squad needs to retreat. Should have gone in with the MG gun as well there. They're not going to be able to get that Pack Howitzer out. Looks like the looks is going to opt to destroy it instead. I think close air support is a mistake here. I don't know what the benefit of this is right now. Much more beneficial to get an elephant out on the field and deal with the armor that's going to be coming in. You know, the armor, they're not going to have great flanking armor in this game if they do opt to go for, you know, Su-76s. Even going up to Su-85s right now is not going to be great flanking units. They've now given that up for what seems to be a tier 3 strategy, unless we're going to see him go all the way up to Battle Phase 3. I don't know. I don't know where they're going tech-wise. I think they've missed out on an opportunity here.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Let's follow some more of the action. Here we go then. Monkey is starting to focus a bit more in the mid now, not going in so deep with his flanks, which again he could be utilizing the flanks as he was before. Putting that kind of pressure on the axis has worked absolute wonders so far. And look at this beastly triple vet infantry section. Su-76 I think just went down somewhere. We missed that. I have no idea what took that down. But that goes down. Here we go. So the Lux has got a real reign on the field right now. Close air support anti-infantry strafe comes in. Lux has an opportunity to dive in and start taking over the mid VP. Left hand side, beautiful positioning and flank here from Nozlil, although he does get met by a Molotov. Fortunately he does manage to get the retreat. Nice support from Legendary there with the sniper. Legendary has had a real tough time this game with keeping his units alive. He's lost quite a lot of squads actually, and you can see this here. He's been reduced down to pretty much nothing, which is all the more the shame in the fact that he has gone off to Battle Phase 2 and he just doesn't really have any options to kind of progress with it. You know, he's floating 700 manpower. Unfortunately he's just spent it on the Panzer IV, but you know, he needs to get some infantry out on the field right now, or at least start recruiting some things. Engineer's going to provide a nice line of sight here for a second, so that's a little bit of reconnaissance there. Plenty of AT guns on the field from Nozlil. I mean, this EZ8 does need to be careful. Again, no recruit of the Pack Howitzer yet, so there's still a chance that this could be recruited by the OKW player, and if they manage to get this, this is going to be an absolutely great boost for them, you know, because they haven't actually opted to build the ISG this game. They've got, oh, that could have been such a lethal nade. Need to be careful of things like that. AT gun's desperately trying to get out on there. MG gun didn't manage to kill the retreating squad. That guy was incredibly lucky to get out of that engagement the way he did. Looks bouncing in and out, just constantly harassing the health of these riflemen, who just haven't really managed to find the ideal flank they were looking for yet. And also, by the way, great recovery by Axis after an awful start game for the Axis. You know, they really are starting to pull themselves back in together now. Legendary's close air support is actually doing a pretty good job of slowing down the Allied mid-game whilst the Axis kind of build themselves up. And, you know, he's playing the commander well. You know, I know I've already said that I don't agree with his choice in this situation, but he is playing it well for the time being. Hopefully it's going to give them the kind of mid-game strength that they need, you know, to get those late-game units out in time, you know, to match the allies. But very, very interesting game at the moment. We're seeing VPs constantly changing sides right now. We're going to see a triple cap coming in. Well, hopefully not, if these guys can get there on time. But once again, you know, very, very good recovery so far from the Axis. Call Nozlil Slippy. Okay, Army. I'll call him Slippy for you. I need a co-caster, by the way. This is incredibly difficult on my own. Festive Long Johns was supposed to be here. I don't know where he's gone. I don't know what's happened to him. But, alright, let's have a look at commanders. Still no commanders picked from OKW yet. I wonder why that is. I mean, we've quite clearly now seen the EZ8 on the field. So, you know, we know what that commander is. Maybe not 100% sure of the Soviet commander, but, you know, we have seen the heavy mortar, so we have a vague idea of the commanders it could be. Why haven't we seen a doctrine picked from OKW yet? Some of you will argue it's because it's not needed, but I mean, come on, man. We should be seeing the commanders out now. We're 20 minutes into the game.
A capture point is being overrun.
Nice push on the left-hand side here. Look at this, and the infantry alone are actually managing to put a lot of pressure on this Panzer IV and the AT visions they've had there. That's one thing the Allies have been really, really good at, actually. I have to hand it to the Allies. They have very, very good squad awareness. They haven't been losing many squads. Really expecting them to lose that, as I said. That's normally what happens. You know, they've been really, really good unit awareness. Great positioning of the AT gun here on this Panzer IV. Looks like they didn't manage to keep hold of the sight, though. And the Lux is going to come in here. Do we have AT grenades researched? Yes, we do. Didn't quite manage to find the Lux there. Central engagements again, just this one MG gun trying to hold the mid. Not really managing to do anything constructive there. Monkey's having a fairly easy time on the right hand side. It looks like they're just going to wait for the late game now. And this is what I was talking about with the late game based on the commander choices, is that the commander choice from the Soviets hasn't really given anything that's going to help them in the late game. You know, we see close air support here now. It's going to take this artillery piece out straight away. Should have used the Stuka. I should have really waited for that. I'm guessing he feels he can't wait. But got unlucky there. It's a bit hit and miss with that ability. It can sometimes, you know, remove the artillery in one of those strafes. So I think he got unlucky there. Still, look at this. No recrewing of this unit. This is such a game-changing unit. And Monkey's just forgotten about it. He's floating 626 manpower, and the thing's just sitting there. What's going on? Here we go. Easy 8. Massive push coming in here from the Allied faction. Looks like some kind of air support. Anti-infantry strafe has gone in there. Oops, sorry, camera glitch. And instantly going to force the Allies off. Not quite enough there. It was a good idea. Looks like the Axis managed to respond to it fairly quickly. Easy 8 took a lot of health damage, and we've seen the second Easy 8 come onto the field now as well. So they are in a position where they can start doing this kind of thing. They have enough time right now to start really pushing in deep with these tanks. But look at this! Look at this! The infantry from the Allies is putting an amazing amount of pressure up through the mid and the left hand side now. It's going to secure them 3 VPs and keep putting that insane VP pressure on that the Axis really don't need on right now. And the Axis are doing really well to stay in this game. You know, we've already spoken about the start game and how difficult it's been for them to get back into it, but you know, they get themselves into this position where it's quite comfortable, and then just really good pushes from the USF player. Actually, he's putting a lot of really deep flanks in. Soviet players come in, you know, to deal with that. Here we go. Artillery does go down from the close air support. Great use of that commander. Again, could have been done with the Jaeger armor doctrine. We could be seeing the Elephant and, you know, anti-artillery from Recon and the Stuka there. But, you know, I guess maybe he just wanted to have the security of the munitions to fuel conversion that the CAS offers, in order to, you know, make sure he's always able to take down those artillery pieces, because obviously it is a massive deterrent to your opponent using them when he knows that CAS is the, you know, the opposition commander. Nice incendiary grenade forcing the AT gun off there when it was really needed to provide that extra bit of support for the conscripts dealing with this Panzer IV. MG gun in the middle is going to struggle. Are we going to see the... we did see a rifle grenade go off. Looks like it didn't quite do it though. Here we go. 2 Easy-8s coming in through the center now. Do they have the support of the Soviet? It looks like a full retreat from the Soviet means that this is not going to work. Anti-tank and anti-infantry strafes coming in now on the center point. Might get a couple of wipes there. Might manage to though. Look at this beautiful aggression from the Soviets on this side. Is he going to lose that 3-man squad? Fortunately, he managed to get it out. And look at this, just great unit awareness constantly from the Allied players. You know, the infantry players been top-notch this game in terms of their flanking, you know, their aggression. 3-man squad, sorry, 3-man squad hit dangerously close to going down. Looks like they... oh, yes! Does manage to get out on the retreat. That's a big loss, actually, for the USF. They need that triple vet squads to survive late into the game. Here we see Slippy, sorry, has actually gone for the Command Panther and the Special Operations Doctrine. So I actually think, yeah, probably one of the better choices he could have gone for. The ability on the Command Panther here, coordinated fire, 35 munitions, and it's like a 50% increase in damage to whatever tank it applies to. So, you know, these Easy-8s, they are going to really badly suffer when they go in for those flanks now. And it's a great combination from the Axis so far. This looked like such a failing game for the Axis at the start. I can't believe they're in the position they're in right now. So comfortable on the left-hand side of the map. You know, mid area, very good reinforcement opportunities thanks to having the battle grouper here. They can quite easily keep manpower on both of these points, you know, and they're just constantly harassing the right now, just putting that extra minute or so that the allies need to walk over to the right hand side to recap. And all the time the Axis are growing stronger and stronger. Not sure what this Su-85 is doing. He needs to be careful about driving back on his own mine here, because a shot from the Panzer IV hitting that mine could trigger it and provide engine damage on his own teammates tank. Really interesting play here. This is one of the things I love about this game. You never know the direction it's going to go in. You know, again, allies also building up insanely large armies at the moment. We've already seen their ability to kind of plug the holes that are filled in. Sorry, plug the holes in the Axis front lines. You know, with all this infantry, and then provide some really good flanks. They haven't really managed to pull one off yet that has been, you know, to the devastating effect that they need, but every time, you know, they've had the right idea, it's been well executed, they just haven't got lucky enough with it yet. And I have a feeling that, you know, Axis, they do keep overextending like this. You know, these two vehicles here, they don't have that much support with them. It could be very easy, you know, for some Jacksons and the EZ8s to come in and deal with those tanks. That being said, another shot here from the AT gun. Oh, and it bounces! He got lucky there. That also has the mark target ability on from the Command Panthers. You know, that would have gone down instantly to that shot. Fortunately, it bounced. He got very lucky there. What was that? We saw Stuka strike go there. I don't know what it hit. Need to keep watching these engagements on the front line. Here we go. Look at this, beautiful kiting as well in again. Rakettenwerfer trying to get shots on the EZ8. They need to be really careful putting the EZ8s this far up. Rakettenwerfer and the AT support is there. Su-85 trying to get some kind of sight. It looks like he's trying to deal with the tier 4 building, or at least just hold off any kind of units from the mid and left. And allies really need to focus. It looks like the allies' best opportunity right now is to focus on the right hand side and the left hand side. They have very little chance of taking and holding the mid, just due to the sheer amounts of manpower that are continually present on there. And here we go, T-34 is now being built from Refero. And have we got any more vehicles coming in from USF? Doesn't look like it at the moment. Quick repairs coming in though.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
It's still too close to call at the moment. Still too close to call at the moment. I mean, VPs are starting to even out now in favor of the Axis. You know, the longer this game goes on, the stronger the Axis are going to get, especially if they stop losing squads, which, you know, Legendary does seem to be keeping hold of his army a little bit better now. You know, that being said, allies do still have a lot of veterancy on all of their units. You know, the veterancy on here, the tanks are gaining veterancy now as well. So, you know, it's still possible, you know, if we're in a situation where there wasn't veterancy on these units, where we'd lost them and replaced them, then yeah, I would be slightly worried for the allies. But, you know, providing that they don't lose anything, they still do have a lot of late game, you know, bonus advantages. You know, especially that advantage over the Austin player who doesn't have that kind of veterancy yet. So, you know, still infantry holding an advantage from the allies at the moment. These PPSHs are just doing absolutely brilliantly, are holding off the Panzer Grenadiers. Looks like this Maxim might go down to the sniper. It does.
One of our machine guns has been silenced.
Nice play there. How many kills is this on? 52 kills now from the sniper. So sniper play from Legendary has actually been really good. Maybe his sniper micro holds some kind of story about why he's been losing so many units. Maybe he's been, you know, quite focused on that. This is a deep push for the tanks. There's a lot of AT support there. Rear armor now on the Sherman, but it looks like a forced retreat was already on for the Rakettenwerfer, so they didn't manage to get that all-important connecting shot. This EZ8 is on Vet 2 now as well, which means it's starting to become pretty lethal. Su-85 again, once again, building up veterancy. And if you know, Allied players need to understand the importance of veterancy on their tanks, because although they may seem expendable, once this Su-85 hits Vet 2, it's going to gain improved rate of fire. And once it does gain that improved rate of fire, it is going to be an absolute beast. It will fire like a machine gun. So, you know, it's all about building up the veterancy on these tanks right now. They need to get them up to a position, you know, where they're going to start benefiting from the veterancy bonuses, and then they'll be able to take on the, you know, even be able to take on the late game armor that we're going to see coming in. So, you know, one thing, you know, Refero's commander has just been completely nullified by Legendary's commander choice, but, you know, they're still in this game for that reason, is that they do have that kind of veterancy available to them. And look at this, they're still putting so much pressure on the Axis. Even at this point in the game, Axis have more than enough to actually hold this off, but the positioning hasn't quite been there, and Monkey is just taking complete advantage of this. You know, by pushing in the flanks all the time. We're seeing a lot of movement from the tanks on Refero here, constantly bouncing left and forth. Has he just put phosphorus on himself? I think he just used phosphorus on himself. He's losing health quickly. The Lux is going to come in and take some shots. If these guys retreat with the Lux chasing him down, it could be trouble for these infantry squads. The captain could go down here really, really quickly. Lux needs to give chase. Looks like Lux will give chase. It could be dangerous though if he pushes too far. Easy 8's really missed an opportunity there with the Lux. He should have done that a lot earlier. Guessing he wasn't actually focused on that engagement and didn't manage that. Refero trying to get the crush on these engineers. Does actually manage to get the crush. Legendary wasn't really focusing then. Such a shame that the US got away with that, because, you know, the Lux been a little bit closer, but it absolutely shredded those. And here we go, very, very big Axis push coming in now through the mid and the left-hand side. Command Panther going in for us. Manages to take down the Su-85. That was a key unit for the Soviets right now. Here we go. Look at this. LEIG on the front lines. Not sure what this is about. I'm going to have to change the camera angle so we can see all of this. T-34 doesn't really have a leg to stand on here. AT could consider using a barrage to maybe get rid of this blob here. I don't know. Not much to do here. A lot of AT is going to take the T-34 straight down. Look at this. It is just a blob on attack move. And the Soviets got completely caught off guard by there. Looks like Monkey is going to try and pull off a flank here. He is thrown off by an anti-tank air strafe from Legendary. But once that's done and it has a recharge time, he knows that he can probably go in there pretty confidently with 4 Easy 8s. This could be the time to do that. This is the right time to go in hard with these tanks. He has the support of his infantry as well, which are coming in on this hand side. Need to see movement for this. We're going to watch these tanks pretty closely, because this is going to be a pretty decisive engagement in this game. We have retreating squads for the Axis right now, who have taken a lot of damage actually. Come on, we need to see these tanks going in hard. This is your opportunity. They could run absolute riot around these units right now. There is nothing that the Axis blob could do if these Easy 8s smoked and used attack ground. This is it. This is the opportunity. I see no mines from the Axis in this game so far whatsoever. They're just trying to test the ground. They're in such a good position. We're going to see a Stug come out from the Austin now as well. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess the Stug is a good unit, but they probably could benefit from you know, something like another Panzer IV in order to, you know, stop any kind of flanking. We've got 4 Easy 8s on the field. The Stug can get easily flanked. I'm not sure if it's a wise decision right now. So we'll see how that one turns out. Alternatively, you know, it could be absolutely great provided it has vision. Stug has incredibly long range for that kind of thing. Now here we go. A lot of AT presence on here. They need to consider using the smoke barrage. Why have we not seen smoke gone up yet? Abandoned Easy 8, completely unnecessary. One of them goes down as well. This is such a waste. Smoke the AT guns in reverse. Come on, it's not that difficult. All you have to do is press E and carry on driving. Lost 2 Easy 8s there for absolutely no reason whatsoever. That is a devastating loss. We really missed an opportunity from the Allies there to dominate this game. They could have actually wiped Axis off the map with that engagement. Axis doing pretty well though to keep it in this game. Look at this, Lux on Vet 4 now, having an amazing game. What's the kill count on that? 30 kills from the Lux, so positioning of the Lux so far has been really, really good. You know, it's just so sad. The flanks from the USF have been so good, but they just haven't committed to it any time. And you know, they're just going in, allowing the Axis to come up with a suitable response, you know, and then not getting out of it. Here we're going to see another one go down. Fortunately, he managed to save the veterancy crew there, and he has got double vet on this veterancy crew as well. But it's just it's sad to watch. It's sad to watch, really. Axis have lost, you know, a lot of units. We saw in that last push with the Axis, then they just blobbed up all their AT guns. They blobbed up. The LEIG was on the front lines, is probably heading the engagement, and you know that if you're going to play like that, it can be easily countered, and it's just such a shame that the Allies haven't found the time to do that. Then Pakawi finally goes down after what might be 25 minutes of just sitting there. Again, you know, with floating 800 manpower here, I do not know why that unit hasn't been, you know, hasn't been recrewed. Really, really sad to see that. Maybe he just forgot about it. Maybe, you know, he's been focusing on other things. I don't know. It's really difficult to predict the player's mentality in this game, but you have to wonder why, you know, why a unit like that is so strong in the current, you know, the current fabric of this game, you know, why that hasn't been selected. Here we go. I'm seeing a Stuka strike coming down here. Where's it gonna hit? Actually went on the actually got the Easy 8 crew there. Oh my god, they managed to abandon an Easy 8 crew with the Stuka. I don't know if the squad was repairing then or whether they managed to get away. I don't know what happened there, but looks like they managed to get the abandon on that. Again, another small yet annoying loss for Monkey. 2 engineers trying to get in, maybe and hit the sniper there. Again, no success from that whatsoever. Obersoldaten now from Slippy. Very, very comfortably able to deal with some of the conscripts at long range here. Here we go, nice flanking run in here. Oh, beautiful play there actually from Refero, who managed to flank in and push off the Obersoldaten. This is going to give him a couple of seconds to get those VPs, and it looks like this might be the only way for the Allies to win this game right now, is to grab these 2 VPs and just cling on to them for dear life. Where is the Stuka going? Straight through the center. Looks like Refero got ahead of that one and managed to retreat in time though. And here we go, this is exactly what we don't want right now. Vet 5 on 2 of the squads here, and this is very, very bad news for the Allies now. When the Axis start getting this kind of veterancy, you know, the infantry from the Allies, just, they don't continue to measure up anymore, so very, very difficult spot. Allies really need to give it like an all or nothing right now. I can't really see any other way out of this. You know, Axis is starting to push. They need to take advantage of this. You know, any vehicles that they have available and on the field right now need to be focused on just neutralizing these 2 tanks that are way overextended. Some anti-tank grenades here could work wonders. We have seen another Easy 8 just come on the field. You know, here we go. One anti-tank grenade does go off. That's a really, really good thing to have out on there. Again, another Easy 8 plows onto the field. No variety in the tank play from Monkey so far. We haven't seen a single Jackson. A Jackson would be absolutely wonderful here. You know, Easy 8 is good, but it doesn't really quite have the range and the penetration damage. We're going to see close air support Stuka dive bomb go down here as well, but fortunately Monkey did manage to retreat away from that in time. Let's have a look at Refero quickly, who has once again lost all of his armor on the field, still making desperate struggles to get out on the left hand side. And the Axis really should do something like put a machine gun on the left, because they are just losing this VP on the left continually, and it's unnecessary. You know, an MG would pretty much stop, an MG and an Obersoldaten would just completely stop Refero from being able to do anything on that side. That being said, Axis do have enough on the field now to just completely, you know, bounce left, bounce right. They're dominating on all fronts. It's a triple cap now. Things are looking very, very grim for the Allies, who had such an amazing start to this game as well. And it's just so sad that they didn't manage to follow through with it. For those of you that didn't see the start game, I mean, we saw probably 3 or 4 squads. We saw the Kubel go down, we saw a Grenadier squad go down, we saw a machine gun go down, you know, all from the Axis players in the first 3 minutes of the game. And look at the Axis now, they managed to completely come back from this. And they've done really, really well, you know, not to let the rage and everything else get to them. They've just really kept it together, built up the veterancy. They're doing a good job.
Sherman ready to go.
Let's get some army zooming going on here. The one thing I have to say that Army does reveal when he zooms, you get to hear these units in a whole new way. I mean, when do you ever get to hear the tank like this? You don't get to hear it from the bird's eye view. But here you get to really hear these engines roaring, really hearing the infantry screaming and dying around it. It's just beautiful. So maybe we're going to have a little more focus on that as we get into the later stages of this. I'm sure we can have a few engagements that'll sound a lot better, you know, at mid-range level.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Alright, things seem to have quietened down for a moment. So, one of the things that we're noticing here, both the allied players there's no synergy between them. We don't see a mix of, you know, supporting each other. Monkey's going heavy on one direction. Whoa, where is the Stuka going? Has he managed to find the target on the SUs? Oh, I was so thinking it was going to hit there.
Our territory.
He does manage to wipe quite a few units though on this side, and that again is a devastating loss for Refero, who really doesn't want to be losing units like that at this moment in time. Please do the zoom on the Vet 5 looks. Alright, maybe we'll go around to that in a second when we're actually seeing some engagements coming out for this. But now we're going to follow the journey of these riflemen who are desperately trying to deal with this command panther. Not quite getting there, are they? Beautiful kiting in here from Legendary, who now feels the confidence to go in with the sniper and the Panzer IV combination. He's using the sniper to take down all the AT weapons, also provides sight for the close air support doctrine, and then bouncing in there with the Panzer IV. Beautiful play from Legendary now in the late game. He's probably one of the worst players in the early game for this particular match, and I mean now he's just come into his own in the late game. Really, really good to see. Here we go, SU-85 once again is going to be struggling to get that veterancy. Unless they get Vet 2 on this tank, they really don't stand a chance of dealing with Axis armor. There's nothing else in the field right now that's even able to get the veterancy up that high in time. Even building a Jackson now probably wouldn't cut it. So, very, very strong Axis push right now. Someone said they wanted to see the look zoomed in. Well, here it is. Currently running over this poor guy here, who seems to be... That guy is not having a good day. Yeah, I mean, this is and the Vet 5 looks is just absolutely insane. Look at that, it's not even taking any damage anymore from the bazookas. It's suppressing on fire, it's just providing a hell of a lot of damage. Just great play on this side. Refero trying to get back some kind of VP control on this side. I mean, it's so difficult right now. I mean, I think they've given up. Here we go. They've called the GG. There's nothing really that they could do. I mean, very, very good game for the Axis. They really came back into their own in the mid game through to the late game there. It's just such a shame. I wish I could just go back to the start game for those of you that didn't see it and just show you like how awful it was, like how bad, how really bad it was. And you know, as I said, you know, when your army is a small size, you do get that benefit of your manpower income rate, you know, it goes up again, so you can rebuild quickly, and it's all down to your strategic decisions from then on, and they just made the right decisions. The Allies just couldn't quite cut it. So really, really good game for English hard to spoke, and Operation Blackshield suffers their first game with a defeat. Alright guys, I'm going to flick you over to the outro screen now. I'll give you a moment to figure out and remember how this is done.